RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode. What it do?
Yo, welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, and New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do's, LB, Lauderdale Boss, aka Shuttleworth, the God, the GOAT artist, no good. Star Wars creator, RingGangRadio.com in the building. Building.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's good? It's your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio, let's get it.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer. You know, I think he's above ground today. Taking.
Yeah, I'm above ground.
Yeah, so no fighting crime except for the atrocity on his play at the hibachi restaurant. So it's all good, But as always, we shoot you
fuck them niggas. They could suck a dick.
Got him.
And last but certainly not least, got my other man with me, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's good? It's PJ, Fight Architect, coach for your life. Always rebuild your game, representing Ring Gang for life.
Yes, sir. The coaches. Yes, high test. The coaches in the house, and as always, he's in an undisclosed location. Except, all you need to know is that that their milk is in a fucking bag in the store, and they get
parts unknown.
Yeah,
that's right. In Atlantis, we're under the sea, so I'm actually chilling with Aquaman right now.
Yes, sir.
Nah, but we had to pull him up from, we had to pull him out of Canada because, the event we about to talk about.
Well, undisclosed location, bruh.
No, undisclosed location in Canada, nigga. like you could be undisclosed in a state, in a country. Like, come on.
That's still too much.
I'm a sovereign citizen, so don't worry. My location changes every 2 minutes, like a VPN.
There you go.
Now, one motherfuckers thinking we harboring international criminals. Like, who's that one guy that's always undisclosed?
To quote somebody who used to be around here, I might be stuck in the trunk of a car being driven around.
That's dark.
Oh man,
y'all some fools, yo. But man, so tonight, obviously, we only have one thing that we want to talk about and discuss tonight, and her name is Claressa Shields. Yeah.
Damn.
Now, I mean, for most of us who are listening and who follow our accounts, especially on Twitter, we put up an interesting poll topic today, and the poll topic was how many pay-per-views, because Claressa Shields recently announced that she was going to be fighting on a pay-per-view sometime in March, and it's going to be on Fight TV for a cost of $29.95. Woo!
It's an all women's
pay-per-view, and this kind of came out of left field because it was like we're just waiting for Showtime to announce their fights, but just on the strength of that, we decided to put up a poll topic about it, saying like how many pay-per-views do you think she was going to sell? We did not expect to see so much of a reaction. Honestly, it shocked the hell out of me. Because I was in my bubble most of the day. I know I talked to LB about it. LB was shocked about this shit. That it seemed like we just hit like a button and people just had to talk about it, had to actually reply, had to engage.
Dude, I just looked at the poll for the first time since like in hours. 430 votes.
Yep.
Jeez, like usually we get that like after a couple of days or some shit,
Yeah, or it's after a fight that just happened, or you had a knockout of the year, or some real boxing fuckery. But there was really 435 people, that cared about a Claressa Shields poll.
It was the equivalent of a Power Rangers crossover. All the Power Rangers showed up. They all wanted to put their opinions right there.
Yeah. Like, what is this? Like, everybody just came out of nowhere. Like, you know what? Nah, we have to say something about this.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
I mean, they added their negative comments because for bad reasons. I'll get into that one. So the choices were of how much Claressa Shields would sell. The choices were 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, or 500,000 or more. 83% of that 435 said 50,000, which is fine. So I was like, okay. But then I'm seeing the comments, and then it's not even going to sell 50,000. Where's the option for less? It's going to sell 5,000, 10,000. I'm like, damn.
Four.
Yes, you should be hitting the 50,000, but then.
Like it was so wild that there was an account, Boxing Talk Nation. You know, he was like, here you go, guys, and he added two more options, 25K to 50K, and then less than 25K. And 20 people
and that shit got 20 votes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I was like, wow. Like, I mean, I didn't realize people had such strong reactions to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
out of all things.
Of all things in boxing, like there's other shit. You know,
I mean, even Mr. Michael Montero had to fucking put his 2 cents in. I'm like, damn.
And he put in like, and he was engaging like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he was engaging. Like motherfuckers followed him. Montero followers followed him to the poll. I'm like, damn, we getting the Montero boys.
Yeah, you know, it's like. And it just seemed like there was such strong reactions, and I don't understand why. Like, now, obviously, most of us don't like the concept of pay-per-view most of the time, and especially for pay-per-views that we don't think we think it's unwarranted. We've talked about this plenty of times, and with Claressa Shields, it's always because Claressa Shields has had her fights on Showtime. They've always aired on Showtime, regular Showtime, and it is what it is. And like her fights are, they do decent amount of ratings at times or whatever, depending on who she's fighting. So to jump from that to FITE TV pay-per-view is just like, I don't know, it just seemed to be like a big trigger.
Well,
and
first off, I don't mind the pay-per-views. I mean, some people, I guarantee you most people wouldn't mind pay-per-views if they weren't so expensive. Like, I can't get
or we got the fights we actually wanted on time.
Both.
Yes, that were worthy. I can get jiggy with those, but I'm not paying fucking 80 bucks for a pay-per-view that should be free TV. I can't get jiggy with that shit. You
gotta remember, nobody was complaining about pay-per-views costing so much when you had Tyson and Holyfield and Oscar De La Hoya and Trinidad in the 90s.
Yeah,
you
Roy
looked
Jones.
Forward to it.
Yeah.
Roy Jones, you looked forward to it. You said, you know what, I gotta pay $60, I will. I don't want to be the idiot who's out here don't know shit that's going on.
But of course, back in those days, though, we actually had, we had something called a hot box. So, what I'm saying, like, if you knew how to get one.
Yeah, but that's
allegedly.
Hey, man, there's no such thing as a hot box. Statute of limitations, bro. That shit ran out. Nigga, I use the hot box.
What I'm saying, hot box is like the stream links we have now. Like, there's always going to be something that's going to stop the true sales. But if you have an event that people want to see, people going to buy it regardless. Look at Tyson Jones. And at first, remember, everybody shitted on it. No one wanted to see it. But after all the promo was done, you had over 1 million buys.
It was like 1.6 million, actually. It was
like it was going closer to 2 million.
Yeah, and that was the first box pay-per-view that had hit that since Triple G and Canelo too. That's fucking crazy. Like, we had all these people that are supposed to be stars, and 2 retired legends, did that shit with ease.
Okay. You also added the bit where you said 2 retired legends, so obviously they're going to be able to have pulled no matter what. It's only like if they were in the point of like in wheelchairs, that's where people would be like, "Why are you doing this?"
It probably would sell too. I
mean, like I said, most of the complaints about the pay-per-views now are the price and the people. The fights aren't worthy. It's the reasoning behind pay-per-view.
Well, let's put it this way: the price, it's not $80; it's $29.99 or $95. You know.
I mean, it's a good price.
Basically, a
But,
meal at a okay restaurant.
I mean,
$29.99 isn't bad. That's like a in your house pay-per-view back in the day.
Word.
Yeah, but this isn't Nonito Donaire doing the damn Ippo shuffle, and you know you're not getting no type of fight like that. You're getting an all women's card pay-per-view, and which is nothing wrong if you were saying, okay, we're gonna give you Serrano and Katie Taylor or Heather Hardy and McCaskill, or we're gonna give you Shields and Savannah Marshall. Then yes, you could charge $50 for that.
That would be the card of the century.
But you're not giving us that card. So why should we care?
They're giving the appetizer.
Look, this ain't even an appetizer. Have you any look, first of all, this ain't no hate. Have y'all seen Claressa Shields' opponent to be?
Nope,
Yes, I have.
I have not.
I have.
Struggle. It's just, I'm a stutter the word struggle out. It's just struggle.
So basically, this is like. So basically, we're paying filet mignon prices for fried calamari.
Nah, nigga, you
So let
not
me
even
give you
getting
some details
seafood.
about that.
You can eat fish sticks. Calamari. Like, dude, you get some Gordon fish sticks.
So I'll give you a short of her opponent, Dakar. So Dakar has a karate background, so she has a very back forth style. Second part, she's also a lefty, so she kind of has some lefty tendencies, but because of her back forth style, she also seems really cagey and nervous about taking a hit. So it makes her super awkward. The only thing that makes her that might be a bit of an annoyance, or not even more of an annoyance, but might be a challenge, depends what Claressa shows up, is she likes to hold and she will spin you if she's near the corner. And also she will like to steal rounds to the end of it. Her problem is, I don't know what was going on. Her concept of moving your head off center line does not really flow in her head. So you could have a blindfold on, just grit your teeth and throw an overhand right, you're probably gonna land.
What the fuck?
I was just watching her fight before we got to the podcast. And everything you said is true. I'll even add to it. She also doesn't hold her hands up.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She don't bring her power hand back to her face.
No, she's skiing the entire time.
Yeah, she's skiing. Yeah, yeah, she's skiing. Honestly, that's a good way to put it. So first of all, she's skiing, doesn't move her head, and she kind of uses karate footwork, and she has good footwork. She could move around. That's the only good thing you could say. She looks like she's trying to punch hard, but there's like no snap on her punches.
So basically, yeah, because she flops a little bit. Her gloves are a little floppy.
But it looks like she's trying to punch hard though.
Yeah,
So that's why it's weird. It's like honestly, Pursoon look more technically sound.
I mean, you're kind. I mean, I've never seen this woman fight, but it almost sounds like you're describing a kickboxer to me. Like, and I hate that.
honestly, like,
She has a
I don't
karate
know how she
background.
became champ.
I
I don't know how
hate-
she's undefeated.
I hate that kickboxing style in boxing because it translates terrible to me.
Hey, you gotta remember
It's more
about
like Taekwondo boxing. She moving more than the kickboxer.
it also depends on the kickboxer you're dealing with, because there is that one MMA guy who translated over to boxing and now he's known as the prospect killer.
Oh,
Not anymore. He ain't.
Not anymore.
Unfortunately.
We gave the award after him.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing too. It's like it depends on the kickboxer too, because one of the biggest translations, which is an issue, is depending on your style of kickboxing, some are more stiff than others. Others learn to loosen up, but it varies. But for her, Dakar, it's more so that it's the back forth karate style, but you can kind of tell she doesn't want to get hits, even though she understands the risk. But she always tries to find a way, I should say, quote unquote, find a way to not get hit, which means pull back or her head gets stiff or she moves weird. Like if she
She's
actually
an aggressive spoiler.
punches, she would
this
actually
doesn't sound like somebody I want to see fight. Honestly,
Yeah, see,
I'm
basically,
Aggressive spoiler.
yeah,
That's all she is.
she doesn't commit to anything and that's why she has like no knockouts. Like she's 17-0, no knockouts, literally.
so she's scary. She fights scary.
It's
hard to describe it that way.
Aggressive spoiler. Like she's scary, but like she's proactive scary.
Yeah.
Aggressively
Actually, no,
scary.
P. Here's a really good way to describe it. As soon as her offense goes, her ping just shoots up to 500. You don't know what's going on.
Oh God. Yeah. This pay-per-view is not worth it. I haven't seen this woman fight. I'm sorry, but I can't. Ugh.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing is like, I mean, you go from that, and I think the biggest question is, you know, what got Claressa Shields to this point that she has to put her next fight, and it's not even like let's say she's not even like fighting like a Savannah Marshall or anything like that, which is what I think everyone wants her to fight. You know, she's fighting.
She just posted about her too. Like you seen on the IG, she had the she had posted a highlight reel of the clip of Ann Wolf knocking out Vonda Ward.
Yeah.
And she said this is what she would do the exact same thing to Savannah Marshall.
You ain't got enough power to do that shit. Oh, come on.
Niggas in the comments were like, man, you ain't knocking out nobody like that. This, that, and she was like, check my record. I got 2 KOs. I'm like you gonna argue that? Really?
I wouldn't even acknowledge them. I just keep moving.
Like I wouldn't even be in no comments for that. Like
Yeah, seriously.
The other thing, another way I like to look at it is like her talking about like saying about Savannah Marshall. Maybe she also feels the same way about being in the pay-per-view for this card. She just be like, why am I going with this person when I want this person?
Well, I mean, she was the promoter, Salida. I think Roy Jones used to promote him. Or was it Amir Khan? One of them dudes.
For a split second, I thought you were about to say Salido, and I'm like, he moved up?
No, not Salido. Salita.
Salita.
I think he's promoting the card. I remember she went on live with him, and they were discussing and talking to fans, and there was the whole. I think that's when she was getting them into the getting blackballed in boxing, and I think that's why they had to do the pay-per-view. But to me, honestly, it just seems like she's hell-bent on working against boxing. Because that's what this move looks like.
Yeah, cause and another thing that I always say is like, you know, because I mean, obviously we just mentioned the Tyson Jones pay-per-view, and you know, and how it was not like a regular pay-per-view, and how that shit, you know, was like 1.7 million pay-per-views. So I'm thinking that might have actually that might have been nothing that put the battery in her back to actually see if she can actually carry an independent pay-per-view.
No, that didn't put no battery. Look, this is ego talking. Honest to God, look. Women's boxing is at its biggest right now for like the last couple years.
Yes, sir.
And you could say it started bubbling in 2018. Same year Ring Gang started, we came together.
Yes,
so
sir.
We've been growing along with that part of the sport. Each year it gets bigger. You can't tell me that allegedly the biggest name in the sport, the person with the most accolades, she has to make a pay-per-view while all the other women's boxers are signed to major companies and they're on big cards. Like, that's why I said, like, it seemed like she's working against boxing. Like, you're getting an opponent that is even worse than your last opponent.
She's just undefeated, that's
just undefeated with a belt. So
yeah.
It's like you belt hunting. Like, there's the other people that she could fight that got better names, but then when you hearing in the interviews, I think what she was saying something about the Rachel, I forgot her last name. I remember her calling her out, the real good looking chick.
Raquel Miller.
Raquel. Basically, she was saying that she ain't beat nobody. Why should she fight her? But I look at it like Raquel more known.
And Raquel Miller is actually going to be fighting on that pay-per-view too. She's on the undercard.
See, now, and that's the thing. It's like you putting the wrong people. It's like, bro, like you could promote the Raquel fight. At least she's a little more known. But you fighting this lady from
Montreal,
the Shield maiden from the Vikings.
You know,
I mean, she looks big and tough, but it don't fight. She don't fight like it.
no.
Like, people gonna be disappointed. Like, and this doesn't look like a fight. Like, Shields might knock her out if she doesn't get into the whole clinch wars with this lady. But other than that, this look like it's gonna be another fucking ho hum decision win.
I'm more stuck on just the fact, like, I mean, we have, like you said before, we have major promotions that do have marquee fights. I think PBC is the only one that does not do it, and it's known that they, you know, they don't want to.
So
do.
You think that's why she's doing her pay-per-view herself, because she's not affiliated with PBC?
Yeah, no, I mean, this Top Rank. Top Rank has, Micaiah Mayer, and they have women fighters. Matchroom is known, like, has been pushing women fighters. Like, that's like one of the best things they've actually been doing.
Yeah, that's kind of their bread and butter.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody else is signed, making moves and getting recognition, but for some reason, Claressa Shields is on the outside looking in, but she has all the accolades.
And then also too with Golden Boy. Golden Boy have had some of the most violent women fights I've seen in a hot minute. There, like, and it's just trying to figure out. It's like, and Claressa Shields has fought on the zone before. She's technically free to find any platform. So I'm just trying to figure out what is the problem. Like, why can't, like, I mean,
it's an ego thing. I'm telling you, you hear, like, you gotta piece all the interviews together. Like, Shorty thinks she's worth like 3-4 mil a fight.
That's true, and I know she said, and like, she's also mentioned, like, she wants to be on a pay-per-view of, like, let's say a Broner or something like that, but she's not saying, like, just any old guy, like any old, like, male fighter. It's just like,
I got a quick question then.
Yep.
Because of like what was being discussed earlier. So he's saying like she might be venturing into, because I'm not really too sure, because I was not really around paying attention to it at the time. Is she falling into what Winky Wright was doing or no?
That's a good question. Winky Wright, of course, has been known for his dubious business decisions.
Oh, so she's opened up a school of business boxing that's flopping? Is that what you're...
Yeah, but in order to have an effective school of non-business boxing, people have to follow in your suit. Like, they gotta follow your lead. Like, there ain't no other women that's fucking up their career, like, or changing their career trajectory when it comes to fights and making big fights. Like Shields is kind of doing for herself. Like with Winky, you had people come after Winky that made bad moves, and we're like, what the fuck, nigga, take the money, what you doing? Like, we don't know if there's any other women's boxers doing that. Like, the only other person, Serrano and Taylor, couldn't get that fight sorted out.
Yeah, and that was disappointing, like highly disappointing.
I think they weren't really trying to pay Serrano any money like that.
Okay,
but,
so
on the flip side, like we say all the time, these women have to convert more women's fans and promote themselves more, get creative, network with more YouTubers, something, like in Claressa Shields' case, she never goes viral for anything boxing, like for any of her fights.
Yeah, and it's not like she doesn't try, but that's the other thing, because I was saying this.
But she tries with the costumes and all the other shit. I'm talking about the fight need to go viral, the highlight or something, a clip, a knockout.
Yeah, that's true. But like she tries to like do stuff off, like outside of boxing, like not in the ring, but it doesn't work because nobody pays attention to it. But it's like, you can't promote yourself like a guy would. You got to do something different, but it just doesn't work.
Exactly. And then when you engage with people, you gotta be cool. It's like, you can't talk about you gonna slump somebody and you only got 2 knockouts, and then when people bring that up, you getting all crazy in the comments.
Because it's not like she hasn't tried, because this is the same person that was like, oh, I beat Keith Thurman, I beat Golovkin, I beat Sean Porter. I'm like she's trying to say shit to say outlandish shit to get press, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, because it's not believable. Was that?
So I got one more question now to follow up on what you guys were saying, especially what you guys said earlier. That you said like there wasn't like at the very least for Winky, right? He had people talk to him who made their own mistakes before, and they said like, hey, why are you trying to go down this route? So is it because like
Farmer.
there wasn't like a woman boxer equivalent of it? She's now kind of like venturing into, in her case, unknown territory for where she is.
Well, it's hard to say with Winky because Winky had lucrative fights offered to him and he turned it down. He turned down a fucking De La Hoya fight. He turned down a Mayweather fight. Like he's turned
Taylor
down.
rematch.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he turned down the Mayweather fight. I think that fight fell through.
No, I heard he turned it down. Because I remember that was a big thing. I had heard he turned it down.
I've never heard about him turning that down.
Yeah, because I mean,
It never got far enough, really.
I mean, that wasn't that around the time when Floyd was at 140, anyways. Like
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't the money machine that he was now, but he was getting up there.
Yeah, I do remember, because Winky wasn't interested in that fight. I think he just wasn't interested. Period. Not because.
Yeah, I don't think a real offer was made.
So I guess, but when you say you're not interested, that's like turning it down. So.
Okay, but reeling it back. So if we were going back to her again, so she's not had the same offers and stuff like that. So where do you think she's going, or where do you think how is this exactly working out for her in the spot she's in right now?
It's not working out for her. Period.
Is it just because
that's why we got this
it's not
pay-per-view.
working out no matter what direction she goes, or it's just because she went in a direction and now it's not working out?
It hasn't been working. Honest to God, it hasn't been working.
It also doesn't help that she's in a division where the cupboard is pretty bare, honestly.
Yeah,
You have to build up.
Most women's boxing, it's going to be rough like that.
You keep picking foreign fighters that no one's heard about with horrible styles.
Because all the top talent in women's boxing is in the lower weights, and she's in the bigger weights. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. I mean,
Look, we didn't have to look when she fought. What's her name? Tori. Entertaining fight, good fight.
mm-hmm.
Who's
Franchon Cruz DeZern in her debut.
That was a very good fight.
That was another good fight. You see, that's the point I'm making is whenever she fights people that are known on this side of the world.
Hannah Gabriel's was a hell of a good. That was a really good fight.
Yeah,
that was a good fight too. But the point I'm making is when she fights those type of opponents, you get better fights from Claressa Shields. There's more buzz. The fight plays out better. But when she fights these Europeans that no one cares about, no one heard about, that haven't made any splash, and I'm saying besides Hammer, because at least Hammer was known. So I get that, but come on, all this other shit, you gotta make other opponents why she ain't go up and who's fight the people? Damn, Dashern was fighting.
Well, I don't think you want her to fight the Reuter. Yeah,
not the Reuter, but the other chick, the Mexican chick. I forgot her name. She fought her twice.
No wait, is the Reuter Jimenez?
Mary Cohn.
Cornejo. I know her.
Yeah.
Mari.
Maricela Cornejo. Yeah.
That's it. Her.
Yeah.
That would be a good fight.
That would be a good fight, but it's never talked about. It's never there's fights. It's they not making the right moves, man. That's what it looks like to me. And doing a pay-per-view is just, and with that level of opponents, it's almost like desperation to me.
Yeah, and I say this, if for who she's facing, it wouldn't be an issue, and I've always talked about this too. It wouldn't be an issue if she was actually bodying these broads, these fighters. She's not bodying them, it's she hasn't had a stoppage in, 3 years?
She just finally got a knockdown.
And the worst part is, not only is she not bodying these girls, she's actually trying to body these girls and can't body.
And then she makes excuses when you say, why aren't you bodying these girls? Then it's, the fighters were a lot more skilled now than they are when Leia Ali was fighting. It's the baby he do this more. And dude, no one wants to hear that shit. Knock the motherfuckers out, because look, you can't say you're levels above and you're the best, this, that, and then you're fucking playing the king of decisions.
Yeah.
It don't work that way, and honestly, it rubs people the wrong way. Like
if you're carrying yourself like you're a puncher, then you gotta act like one. Like if you're saying like you're the best boxer in the world, this and that, like you could be anyone. Like you're not mentioning like hey, that's fine, that's cool. Like,
Oh, shout outs to Joshua O, Ring Gang in the building.
Yep, I saw. Yes, sir.
Tyler, number one fan year, won the 2020 fan award.
But
Always holding it down.
She says she's gonna knock out these people. I'm gonna beat up these people. Then goes in the ring and throws slaps. Like
this is one of the biggest things I've always been upset about. Where some boxers say like, "Oh, I'm gonna lay this person out." I'm like, if you're not that kind of person who gets KO'd, don't say that.
Yeah.
Or at least get into good fights. Like at least be somebody that let their hands go.
I just don't like honestly that annoys me the most. I don't like the way Claressa Shields throws punches. Like she throws slaps. Like so you can't say I'm gonna knock you out, and then when I watch you just throwing arm punches, slaps.
But then the thing is, when she's hitting the mitts, her punch, the technique look on point. But honestly, her punching look better in her last couple fights.
It don't look like that when I watch. I mean, she has gotten a little better, but it didn't look like that before. She wasn't looking like she was throwing good punches when she was actually fighting them. Not like when she was working out.
No, I agree. Because look, if you got 2 gold medals, I do expect you to punch better.
I think she got.
It don't matter if you're a man or a woman at that point.
I think she started punching a little better when she hooked up with Jackson.
Exactly.
Jackson.
Yeah. Because I saw it from the Hammer fight on.
Yeah, that's true. Because the other thing is, it's like you got 2 gold medals, but I'm like 2 gold medals in the amateur system. That's different. You're about points, not necessarily about KOing people. When you go to the pros, it changes. You got to like change your style in a manner because it's now about hurting people, not about like just outscoring.
Yeah, right. But I mean, Rigo got 2 gold medals and he was knocking motherfuckers out.
Yeah, but that's Rigo.
Rigo's a punch.
Yeah.
It don't matter, man.
Rigo could slap his
but then
Shields look naturally bigger and more athletic and explosive than like at least 80% of her opponents.
But I had someone say this, oh well, why do you care so much about it's like, well, do you say that about Shakur Stevenson? You don't get on him, and he's not knocking people out, and he was a highly skilled amateur.
Yeah, we do.
I'm like, but people do get at Shakur Stevenson. What are you talking about?
Everyone is on his ass about that.
Man, throw a podcast at his ass.
What's next? You're gonna tell me Devin Haney doesn't get criticized for his lack of punching? Please, we can roll the film back, right?
And even if they did, both Shakur and Devin Haney both have like 60% KO like percentages. Like I mean, they're not feather fisted. They're not like like they can do it, but that's not how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's sometimes just like the fighter's disposition. Not everyone's gonna be trying to do it.
And I'm not trying to shit on Shields because I genuinely try to like her, but she doesn't do herself.
I like her.
So here's my thing. Like, I mean, I've mentioned before, like, I mean, I've always said that Claressa Shields reminds me of Tim Bradley when she fights, and I was not a fan of Tim Bradley.
Okay. I'm not gonna go that far now. I'm not gonna go
in terms of her punching, But one thing I don't want to see her fail. Like, I mean, like, I don't want to see it to a point where she has to take a pay-per-view like this, in order to try to, in order to fight. It's like, no, I don't think that's the way. But it's just like, because I mean, if this pay-per-view does fail. Like it's going to be front page news for boxing. Boxing Twitter is going to go ham.
And it more than likely is going to fail. And that's not being negative. I mean, y'all see the votes. Y'all seen everybody named fucking mom and auntie came out to vote on this shit.
Yeah.
That damn link going to get passed around more than a fucking blunt at a Cypress Hill concert. Like,
wow.
Like, come on, man. Like, no one's going to pay money to see this shit.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is just like, if you're being put on a pay-per-view, it means you've struck out in some way, like you've stuck out in some way, like either you're good at getting KOs or you've made amazing wins or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
It's not like Claressa, it's just more of like a case of like, okay, you're up there in the pay-per-view, but the catch is like, if you want to draw attention, people need to know what is it about you that they want to go and look.
I got 2 gold medals, I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, that's pretty much
years ago.
That's all we've been hearing for years. It's like, Nakamura.
I saw the documentary. It was a good documentary, but I'm like, that was a while ago.
And then also too, I mean, lately, obviously, you know, she's training for MMA because she's planning on fighting in the PFL, like later on. I don't know if it's this year or whatever, you know. But you know, I think that's probably another aspect too. Like she might be trying to get, you know,
A reverse Cassius Clay. Okay, let's go.
you know, and that's the thing too is like you like I said, like, you know, I also don't want to see her like resort to gimmicks. I mean, we see Amanda Serrano. Obviously, Amanda Serrano jumps between kickboxing and regular MMA and boxing and even
Wrestling, and yeah, she does
Has
all that.
multiple jobs, like every immigrant that you've ever seen. Every immigrant does multiple jobs, so I salute her.
And then we'll go online and shit on Lou DiBella and then delete the tweet.
Yeah, and I know, but I think right now Serrano's even training to be a pro wrestler too. She might end up in the WWE.
All I can tell you, P, is last I heard, Serrano's from New York, so only you can explain why she's acting that way. So
She don't even
There's
listen
no
to you.
direction with their careers. Like,
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, Serrano she's been boxing for a minute. Like she has an incredible record. Like she's absolutely like that's why like when that whole news with Kay Taylor the fight like you know fell through, it was disappointing because that was a fight to watch.
there is actually a person that she was planning to fight. This person is in the cold north, and there's been issues and back and forth. But maybe they might make it happen. But that's all I'm about to say.
Alright, so yo, let me ask y'all this before we we transition to the next topic. Y'all saw all the votes. What did y'all personally vote?
I didn't pick anything because I wasn't looking at the comments the entire time.
I mean, I'll be 100% real. It's not because of anything like you know. It's not you know like some sexist or anything. But it's like 50K. I mean, that was the choice that I picked. Like it's just. I know the hierarchy. I know how this is going to play out.
I wanted to pick 50K, but my finger slipped and it hit 100K by accident. But I meant 50K.
I'm also going to add for why I didn't pick anything yet. I don't understand how pay-per-view like totals work.
What you mean?
Like I know like 50K feels like is it based on like pay-per-view vibe, or the card and things like that. We're just assuming how much it will total altogether.
50,000 means 50,000 people ordered.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I guess I'll stick with 50K just to lowball.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, how the hell the
50K as
pay-per-views work in Canada? The hell?
Oh, because I just don't know how. Hey, I'm in Australia right now.
Oh, he didn't even know the chick she fighting. So hold on, give him some slack.
Yeah. Right.
Did you not realize I'm traveling around the world? I'm in Australia right now.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, the lucky you. No COVID over there. Lucky fucker.
Well, I'm about to spar a kangaroo, so we'll see how that works out.
Oh,
It's the fucking COVID.
Oh shit. But yeah, so LB, do you want to transition us to our next topic and our final topic of the night?